Alrighty, everybody. Dr. P in the house here. I'm going to try something over here and see something. We are I wonder if I can. We're experimenting here for just a second on how some of this stuff all works. Because what I am trying to do is share Alright, first of all, I gotta share out. I guess I need to share this in my group. Alright, so I'm in the proofing box. We got people joining us. If you have a watch party and like on the live, you should be able to see watch party for this. It won't let me do it from my own what's it called, page, I guess. And so you can hit you should be able to hit watch party if you think this sort of stuff is useful for other folks, which I hope that you think that it is. And I want you to okay, so I do life coaching like all the time. I coach myself all the time, right? And I really believe, honestly, I believe in what we call group coaching. I do one-on-one coaching. I love my one-on-one, who I do. We talk every week. We do really deep dives. The way I predominantly do coaching is I do group coaching experiences. I sell a group coaching experience. I participate in a couple of group coaching experiences, and I really like the group coaching experience because I like seeing what everybody else is going through and then taking it back and working on my own mind. So if you think this stuff is helpful to anybody in your life, because I'm not just talking business here, right? I'm talking about a lot of different kinds of things, because at the end of the day, we're all people. And I'm talking about people being people and how we cope with the brains that we as people actually have, okay? And so I want to start out today, all right, with this thought that I got from my coach yesterday as we were coaching, because you know, my coaches out there are talking about chaos and that sort of thing because it all feels sort of chaotic, right? And all of this over the next 30 days is we're going to talk about how to control what's going on around us with our thoughts, because it is our thoughts that create our reality, right? So I just got off the phone with somebody about a bill, okay, and the bill itself is one number, and he and I have two very different thoughts about that number. My thoughts aren't right, his thoughts aren't right, they're just different. The number remains the same, okay? And so when it comes to the world around us, right now, the thing that everybody is thinking about is the coronavirus. But the coronavirus, as we are seeing actually, even though it doesn't feel like it here in America, is going to pass. Okay? There is going to be ramifications, right? We know there are going to be ramifications. We have some pretty deep disagreements about what those ramifications are, okay? And this is not a big policy conversation, because that's not what we're here for. We're here to look at our own lives and see how we create control with our own thoughts. Because that's how I live my life, okay? And that's how I've radically transformed everything in my life, is deciding I'm in control dependent upon what I think, okay? And I really like the results that gets me, all right? And so the question that I have for you all is, do you like the results that you have in your mind, in your life, right? And there are 3 different places we get results, okay? I'm gonna grab a marker here, all right? And so when we're talking about creating control, we create control based on the idea, here we go, this was the coaching for my people yesterday, okay? We create this control, right, by first understanding what results we are getting right now, all right? And we get results in 3 different areas of our life. All right, we get results in health, we get results in WLTH. My ability to spell hasn't improved, all right, and we get results in relationships. Okay, here we go, all right. So results are things we can measure, by and large, all right? They're things we can measure. You have health results. Your A1C, all right, that's a result that you have. Your weight, that's a result that you have, all right? The weight loss coaches that I work with are going bananas, okay, because everybody's like, oh my God, I don't want to eat my feelings while my children are at home and have everybody just snacking throughout the entire day, right? Because they know that that's going to change their health results, right? A lot of people having lots of conversation about wealth results, all right? You have wealth results in the money in the bank. You have wealth results as debt. Believe it or not, debt is neutral, okay? And I'm going to talk about that in just a second, right? There are wealth results there are a ton of wealth results. If you run a business, total revenue is a result, profit is a result. Okay. You have relationship results. You are single. You are married. These are results. All right. You have kids. You have no kids. Those are results. Okay. Your results are things, basically, that anybody would be able to take a look at and say is a fact. Like, it's a fact, I have 3 children. Okay. And so, when we talk about control, all right, and we talk about creating the life that we want, the question is what results do you have right now? And do you want the results that you have? Okay, if you are in debt, you may not want those results. It would be fairly common for you not to want those results. Like, there are a lot of people who think that. There are a lot of people who don't. There are a lot of people, there's an entire market that's dependent, that the finance guys run, that are completely dependent on leveraged debt. Without debt, that market doesn't exist. Now, some of us who lived through the crash in 2008 will have thoughts about that, but that debt, we all have different thoughts about debt, okay, but debt is a result, okay, it's a number, and we think something about it, okay, and you can figure out that difference about how, like, what you are thinking about debt, based on looking at your credit card bill and looking at your mortgage, all right, many people feel very differently about owing money between those 2 things. One is bad, and one is good. Educational debt is, quote, good. Credit card debt is, quote, bad. And so we have lots and lots and lots of different thoughts. And so when we are talking about control over our life, the question becomes, what do you want to think? What are the thoughts? And if you don't know that, are the thoughts that you are having serving you? Okay? Because there are, I have a lot of conversations with people, and they're like, that's just reality. okay, I just saw a post where I have a lot of veterinarian friends, and we treat people talk about a lot of stuff in a in a vet room, right? And somebody was talking to a client who was in with his dog, and he runs a restaurant, and he just had to lay off 300 people. Okay. And they're running curbside takeout. They're doing the best they can to keep everything open, but they're doing it on like a skeleton crew of like 10. Okay. There are things that are happening. There are facts about that situation. Okay. Laying off 300 people is a fact about that situation. And the question, when we look at having control over our life, is whether or not we're aware we can choose the negative emotion that comes alongside negative things that are happening in our life. A lot of people are like, oh, you stupid life coaches, you're always like trying to be positive. I'm a fairly positive person. But the reality is that and I say the reality is, but when we look at the facts of our lives, when we look at the facts of our clients, when we look at the facts of our friends, don't we want to feel negatively sometimes? When we look at controlling the world and controlling our experience with our own thoughts, it doesn't mean being positive all the time. It means allowing the negative thoughts in. Okay? I don't want to be happy that a restaurant owner is laying off 300 people. I don't want to be happy that I'm trying to have a virtual birthday party for my kid who's about to turn 12. Okay? I don't want to be happy about a lot of the things that are going on, but not all the things going on, right? I want to be happy, and I am happy about the opportunity that this circumstance is bringing to our lives, to our environment, to our educational system. Let's think about that. All of a sudden, in a state where we're like, well, we don't know if we can do distance learning, we don't know how that works, it's too complicated. Like, it's Wednesday afternoon, as I'm recording this. We got the text that the kids are going to be out of school for a minimum of 2 weeks on Saturday night. Their Chromebooks are home. Spectrum Cable has figured out how to waive all their installation fees so that the kids can get on Wi-Fi. We have lesson plans from the teachers. We have support plans from our IEP. All of the teachers are available from like 9:30 to 2:30 over email. We're having face-to-face sessions with the social workers. So maybe all of this stuff was possible beforehand. We just didn't want to think about it, right? And I see a tremendous amount of opportunity across a lot of sectors of our society. There are sectors of our society that are clearly being affected more than others about this. And you can see the graphs in there as well. But it's not all that. And if you want to create control in your life, I invite you to understand what results that you are having right now. Right now, okay? Are you eating out of control? Have you decided eating is just not on the cards for you? Are you drinking a lot? Have you decided this is going around on LinkedIn a lot? Now's the time to try the cannabis, right? What results are you creating in your life? All right. And are they the results that you want? And if they're not, what are you doing instead of creating those results? Okay? So if one of the results that you want to have is a result of what's going on, okay, and you're looking at health and wealth and relationships, all right? So one of the results, I'll just talk about my weight because, I've lost a lot of weight. So one of the results I want to have around everything that's going on is I want to stick to the way that I eat. Okay, so I have a very prescribed way that I eat. There's very prescribed things that I eat. Half of that is driven by the fact that I can't digest a whole lot of things, right? All right, and so if I want my weight, like my goal while my kids are home, all right, and this is my goal over the summertime too, so it's really not all that different, but my goal is to not eat myself out of house and home, right? And I can do that one of two ways, okay? I can either do that using emotional energy, all right? We call that dieting, or I can do that with my brain. Now, I will bottom line up front, I decided to do this with my brain like almost 2 years ago, and I promise you it works way better. But just roll with me here. Because what happens is if you decide, I'm not going to eat all the snacks, because you're home, the kids are home, everybody's stressed, and we love carbohydrates because they make us feel good, right? And so one of the results that you're trying to create is maintain your weight, then you can decide, you've 100% freedom of choice in deciding how you're going to do that. And you can either do it through denial, okay, and saying, I'm gonna like steel myself, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna like really grip on and decide to do this from a place of denial and beating myself up, or I'm going to understand that there are times when I stress eat, and I'm gonna like have a conversation with myself and give myself permission to feel all of my feelings when I want to stress eat. You will be able to keep up the dieting mentality. People do this all the time, okay? You'll be able to keep it up, sometimes for a very, very long time. But the reason the weight always comes back is because you've used all of your emotional energy. And when you use all of your emotional energy, you don't have any more capacity to control your urges. All right? You just like literally don't have, your neurons are tired, they're depleted, they've taken everything back up into their cells, and they're like, yeah, and we're done. We are done. And your brain gets exhausted from trying to do everything from a place of emotional control and forcing your body and not allowing all of the feelings that you are thinking, all of the thoughts that you are thinking about your food. And that's what causes the weight to come back up. Okay? That's like literally just one example. When you're trying to create control in the chaos and see what results. So the first thing is to decide what result that you want, okay? And I'm going to walk you through that example with weight that I just did. I just talked about, and now I'm going to show you how I do it with like the note-taking that I do, because there is real power right now putting pen to paper. I was talking with Molly last night, and I was writing in my journal, and she said, Mommy, how many journals have you gone through? And I was like, well, let me do math. I've basically been keeping a journal since 8th grade. Some on, some off, not all the time. And I haven't like literally kept the journals themselves for that long. But I've been keeping a journal, and I go through a journal like once every 6 weeks. And we did the math. I have almost 250 journals out there, and if you think every journal is like 500 pages, that's a lot of pages of writing, right? That's a result in my life. I think I transform when I write my thoughts down. And I think everybody who knows me would say that's actually true, right? But it's because I write stuff down. And I will tell you, I'm somebody who thinks that how is it that Wellesley gave me a degree? Because I am literally the worst writer of like all of my Wellesley friends. Now I know that's a thought, but I look at my writing versus like, say, Margaret Hathaway's writing. And of course, she's a professional writer, so I really shouldn't do that. But I have another Wellesley woman who checks my writing, for heaven's sakes. And she was an Italian major. She's brilliant, right? But she's a better writer than me. But I write every single solitary day, and I still don't consider myself a good writer. Your thoughts create your reality, my friends, right? Because, right. So, getting back to the weight thing, though, if what I want is to maintain my weight while all of this is going on, I'm just gonna write that down. The W. We're gonna go through a water exercise. All right. So what do I want? I want to maintain my weight. Okay. I want to maintain my weight. When I want to maintain my weight, because I know how to do this and I've been doing it for so long and I have habits and things like that, I write down my protocol. Okay, so I write down I'm going to 24 hours in advance, right? I check my protocol. And I do thought work when I didn't stick to my protocol. Right? I get on the scale every day. I write down the number. All right? I do some more thought work. Right? Because this number is a result that I have in my life, and this number is neutral. Right? And I do thought work on that. When I see myself with these actions out of this want, the question is, if I turn and I face my feelings and I say, what am I feeling? One of the things, I'm not going to lie, I feel is fear I'm going to gain the weight back. All right? But the other thing that I fear, that I feel, is I feel pretty competent to do the work, right? I feel pretty competent to do this work. But as I stand and I kind of like close my eyes and take a deep breath and look, I see like this kind of wall of fear. So, oh my God, Michelle, it's all gonna go to hell in a handbasket. Very common thought for my, like brain to think. And so what do we say to our brain when our brain says that? Thank you. I see you. I hear you, thought. May or may not be true. May or may not be true that it's all going to hell in a handbasket, right? So I can only have those conversations if I'm willing to admit that they're there. If I'm willing to admit that I've got feelings and that they are there. And so then what evidence am I building? I'm building evidence that I've lost or maintained weight through a lot. I mean, I was homeschooling when I started this journey, so my kids are home, right? And so so that is evidence that I am building that I can fulfill on this desire, right? I'm building the evidence that I can tolerate the discomfort. All right, because I know when I write my protocol down, I check my protocol, I tolerate the discomfort. I don't really eat after lunch, okay? Tolerating discomfort is something I have learned how to do. All right, that's one of the reasons that the way I lost weight is so magical, is because it changes everything about your ability to tolerate discomfort, right? And I haven't gone through that part of the coaching that I normally do, right? Will, but that's I want to get through, like our thoughts create our reality. All right, and then tomorrow we'll talk about if we don't have the reality that we want, after we know where we stand and we stand there, which is what we're doing here, when we want to change that and we want to do something different, then I have a whole process on how to do that. That's incredibly effective, right? Okay, and so I learned to tolerate the discomfort, and I build all of this evidence. So then, what's the result? If I'm telling myself this is going to be okay, I'm facing my feelings, and I'm doing all of these actions, I'm going to maintain my weight, right? So that's how we do it. That's how I do it. But can you see the level of control that this gives me? Right? This gives me this like amazing level of control. And when I get to the T line where I'm talking about what's the truth of my feelings, if I look inside myself and what's the truth of my feelings, if I get really scared, I just stop and I say, I give myself permission to be scared about this. I don't always have to know. And there are many times where I hit pause right here because I can't really go through the rest of it because my brain is muddled. Okay? And I promise you, if you turn and face the truth of your feelings right now, you'll be able to do anything. Absolutely anything. Alrighty? So that's what we've got for you. Tomorrow I'm going to talk to you about how to actually, like, now that you know how to like stand and how you're doing and what you're feeling right now, tomorrow I'm going to talk about what do we do to create different results if you want to have different results. All right, you are all completely amazing. Thank you for joining me for my lunchtime life coaching, and I will catch you tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Love you all. Bye-bye.